Hello again, everybody. It's Les East with Brian Allee-Walsh, NewOrleans.com. It's Wednesday out at Saints Camp after the first day of preparation for Sunday's road game against the Arizona Cardinals, the 2-2 Arizona Cardinals, who apparently are going to start unheralded a first-year player by the name of Max Hall at quarterback. So we'll get to that through the week and as the days leading up to the game, but let's stay in the home front and deal with the personnel matters and the injury situation. We don't have enough time to go through all the injuries on NewOrleans.com today, but Les is going to highlight those that we need to mention.
Well, I guess the biggest news is that Sean Payton confirmed that Tracy Porter has a knee injury that will sideline him for a bit, and in fact he had to have arthroscopic surgery to repair torn lateral meniscus that will keep him out 3 to 4 weeks.
Which is cartilage.
So it's the type of thing that usually is short-term during the season. Guys will come back from that in a matter of a few weeks, and so we should see him back by the end of the month or early next month. So that's not a huge setback, but he will miss some time. As far as safety, they did not bring in any new safeties. They worked out a couple of guys yesterday, but did not sign anyone. It looks pretty good for Roman Harper. He practiced today, so it looks like he might be able to come back this week after missing last week. And Pearson Prelu, who still has a bruised chest, was limited in practice, but I got the sense from the way Sean was talking today that the chances of him playing Sunday seem a little bit better than they might have seemed on Monday. Certainly we'll know more at the end of the week, but the fact they didn't sign anybody new leads you to believe there's a decent chance he'll play. Plus they have Usama Young in reserve, so they're okay at safety.
And they did bring on, they cut a quarterback, Sean Canfield, from the practice roster and signed second-year cornerback by the name of Mark Parson.
Yeah.
Correct?
I believe that's correct.
Parson actually came to this practice squad last November, spent 3 weeks with this team, and then joined the Houston Texans on their active roster. So there's some familiarity with this team, and I think it made it easy. So they've always got a couple of guys. They got Reggie Jones, a corner, on their practice squad as well. So if it doesn't look like some of these guys can help out at the end of the week, where the players we're talking about that are injured, they might be able to move up one. But that's really, I don't think that's a consideration right now.
No, in fact, it sounds as though Roman will probably play, and with Usama, they're probably okay at safety. Prelude's loss would hurt them more in special teams, with Chris Reese going on IR, in which case they could elevate probably one of the cornerbacks or somebody else to play special teams. So that's something that can be handled over the weekend. The major addition to the injury list today is defensive end Will Smith, who had not previously been listed, and he has a groin injury. Did not practice today. We'll learn more about him as the week goes along. And it was a very long injury list, as you mentioned. You know, last week there was some reaction because Drew Brees was not on the list, even though he had a sore knee that required him to wear a brace in practice, but since he practiced fully, the Saints didn't put him on the list. Well, Sean Payton this week is being a little more thorough, was the term he used. So he listed anybody who had some sort of injury, and so Breeze is on the injury list. That doesn't mean there's any sort of setback or anything like that. It's just a procedural thing. So he's on the list, and about 11 of his teammates who practice fully are also on the list. So the Saints have an extremely long injury list, and yet I don't think they're beat up significantly worse than they were a week ago.
No, again, the major injuries we're talking about is to Chris Reese, whom they placed on IR yesterday, and re-signed cornerback Lee Torrance to the 53-man roster. So that completes the roster. I guess I was expecting kind of a new and improved, perhaps, secondary. Not improved necessarily, but just a new look on the secondary. But that's good news that some of these guys are going to be able to play on Sunday. Incidentally, a long-range forecast for Glendale on Sunday is 95 degrees. It's a 3:05 kick back in New Orleans, 1 o'clock local time in Glendale. It's a retractable roof. You can bet your sweet bippy that they're gonna keep the roof open. If it's 95 degrees, they're gonna want these Southerners to sweat a little bit, you know. So. But it's a dry heat, but it'll be interesting to see what happens out there on Sunday. And again, they're playing, it's a banged up Arizona team as well. It's 2-2. This should be one of those games where the Saints should take care of business, come back 4-1, and move on to Tampa the following week. But the way that they've been playing, you can't, you can't say that anymore.
And, it's funny, the Saints are practicing outdoors, at least they did today, which is normal when they're going to play outdoors on Sunday, although Arizona can go either way. But it would be kind of odd if the weather in New Orleans was too cool to prepare the Saints for the heat they're going to face in another city. That doesn't happen very often.
Right, I think they're going to pipe in some heat, I think, when they go indoors later this week. No, just kidding, folks. Well, look. We'll get back to you. Stay glued to the NewOrleans.com today and through tomorrow, and we'll update you after practice tomorrow. So for Les East, Brian Allee-Walsh, NewOrleans.com. Aloha, everyone.
Midweek player feature.